Hey guys, we're back. All right, let's see who we got. Got a bunch of people. Got Vanessa. Make sure your cameras are on. Vanessa, Stephanie M, Nurka, Jeffrey, Miguel, David, Ingrid, Yvette. Don't see you. Francielli, don't see you. We got E. Stefani. It's gonna be for the rest of the class. I'm sorry. Zlima, I see you. Erica. Fabiola is no longer driving. Great. Stephanie, Princess Stephanie, there you go. I see you. All right. Let's see. Elena, Chris. All right, and Mina. All right, great. Make sure you guys have your cameras on so it counts. Right. Perfect. Nurga, addressing your question, I received confirmation that they are on the way. I still don't have a tracking number, but hopefully, if everything goes like it went last time, by tomorrow I should have them. But let's count on Wednesday. All right. So let's count on Wednesday to have the extra books here. So whoever ordered books, if you had ordered already before, they were shipped to you. You should be receiving it either today or tomorrow if you haven't yet. If you just recently ordered the book, then by Wednesday it should be here. So let's shoot for Wednesday. All right. If you need to come here, you just got to let me know so I make sure either I'm available or I have somebody available to give you the book. Okay. All right. Everybody's on the WhatsApp group, right? Let me know. Thumbs up if you're on the WhatsApp group. Okay. Great. Just want to make sure because I do announce there always the Zoom class ID and all that stuff. I want to make sure you guys are getting it. If there's anybody on YouTube that's watching as well, I have the live chat open. So if you have any questions as we go, please feel free to ask questions. All right. As far as Quizlet, I don't know if you guys already logged in or not. I did recreate Quizlet to adapt to this book. I had Quizlet from before with a previous version. I adapted to this book. I want you guys to let me know if you already access it. Let me know if you had problems reaching the actual chapters. I organized it a little different. I have actually folders. In the previous one, I just had the chapters. Now I separate it into folders, which math, terms, the nationwide portion, which is what we're addressing first, and then the state portion, which is for the final week. Just let me know if you tried it out. I think, Erica, you were having problems, right? Were you able to access it already or no? I don't know if you want to hit me or if you're saying so. You want to hit me? Okay. The chapters are in what file? Well, we are in the nationwide portion right now, so we're addressing the generic or general real estate. We're not state specific yet. That's towards the end. So, Elena, to address that, you look for the portion that talks about nationwide. Okay, that means it's covered across the board. If you cannot access, I'm going to give you the access here again. Okay, make sure you click on that. I just want to make sure you guys can get to it. Those that were my students from the Dearborn book, I invited all of you, so I added you to the new one. Just gotta accept in your email or on the app. I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna show. Okay. But there's a lot of updates, and guys, I do apologize for the changes that we're making and might not be accessible yet. There's a lot of updates. Even the website for PSI, I have good news for you guys. I mean, great news for you guys. PSI, which is the company where you're going to test. You guys that are from New Jersey, different states have different places. But for New Jersey, we use PSI exams. And as of today, you can do the PSI exam online. So you no longer have to go to the location. You can do it right from your computer. All right? So to be honest and to be fair as well, I don't know how it works. But I did book myself to take the exam to see how everything is. I'll go through the experience for you guys on Wednesday. And then I will definitely let you know. I already recorded a video, which I'm going to update. I already recorded a video that's going to be on the website, on the student portal, on how to schedule for the exam. It's totally different than what it was before. So I just did that a few minutes ago. All right, gotta love it. 99%? Really? Is that what you think of me? At least make it a 91. Right? Don't make it 100. At least make it a 91. Anyway. No, it's not to show off. Actually, I'm not even looking to pass or fail. It's really just to go through and understand. Because I know how it is at the testing center, and I want to know how it is remotely. So hopefully something similar to what you guys are going to go through with me. So to address Estefani here is the school exam is online. The state exam is now allowed to be online. All right, so that's what we're saying. So you're going to be able to do it right from the comfort of your home. They do have a few demands. One of them is that, just like I have for the school exam, is that you're in a quiet place, nobody walking around. If they see somebody walking around, because you're going to be on camera, just like you are here. At least that's my understanding. I'm going to see it on Wednesday, and I'll let you know. But it is my understanding they're going to be on camera. If they see somebody walking by, automatically disqualified. That was my understanding of it. And same rules apply for the school. You need to be in a quiet place, nobody around, no cheating whatsoever. All right? So yeah, this is great info. If there's anybody watching on YouTube, that's also great for you to know. New Jersey real estate exams, both the pre-licensing for salesperson, and for broker and for instructor, they're all online. Okay? Yvette, to address this, no. I already pay, as a teacher, I already pay for you to have the access. So if it pops up something, and almost every site is doing this now, if something pops up that says, put your credit card here, and we'll give you a trial version of the Pro or whatever, don't. Find the X or find the skip, I don't want to pay. I already got you covered. Using what I paid, my access that I gave to you guys right now, that's it. You don't have to pay anything. All right? All the accesses I have are free for you guys. So don't pay anything. Don't pay anything unless you have to. PSI exams, that has nothing to do with us. So you have to pay them, unfortunately. But all the tools are on my website. Okay? That's available for you. It's free. You don't pay. I pay for all these things for you guys to be able to test and pass. Okay? So, like I said, that's the reason why I was apologizing for Student Portal. With the new book, there's still a few things that are not working. Again, I do apologize for that. The ebook is there. The Quizlet is already updated. Class replays from last week are being added today. So hopefully they'll be up and running today. The book is divided by bookmarks. So as you can see right here, there's bookmarks. So what's going to happen is each chapter is going to be in each. So the pages for legal descriptions only, they're going to be in the section that says legal descriptions and completely separated that way. Okay. All right, guys. Any other questions before we start? Yvette, we charge extra for puppies. Just saying. If the puppy's gonna have a license, we're gonna charge more. Okay. Prince L, you okay? Headache? Yeah, that's how I felt before starting the class. Now I'm good. I'll try not to yell too much, okay? Alright guys, if there's no other questions, today we're going to cover 2 chapters. This is the first chapter, legal descriptions. On average, I'm going to try to keep up with the 2 chapter daily basis. When we get to financing, might slow down and just do 1 chapter. We'll see. But this is going to be our average. Okay? So, with that being said, okay. So, methods of legal description. There are many common ways of describing properties. There's the address, right? There's names which identify the property. In this case, we have Buckingham Palace as an example. The White House. I mean, these are marks, so you can call it by name. You know what it is or where it is. Okay. There's the address, which quickly identifies where it is, but doesn't say what it is, right? And then there's the general description, which is, hey, it's 40 acres, okay? Now, such informal descriptions are not acceptable for use in public recordation, or, generally speaking, in the court of law, because they lack both permanence and sufficient information for a surveyor to locate the property, okay? Even if a legal document or public record refers to an address, the reference is always supported by an accepted legal description. So a legal description is one way to accurately locate and identify the boundaries of the subject parcel, right, to a degree acceptable by courts of law in the state or where the property is located. So if we go here and I put a box, okay, and if you say it's 100 Main Street, all we're saying, right, actually, let me erase this right here. 100 Main Street. All we're saying is that there's another property here, there's another property here. We just identified on Main Street, okay? We just identified that this was 100, number 100. Okay, so there's 102, there's 98, 100 Main Street is where we're trying to identify. It's this one. But does it tell us what this property is? It's a single family, it's a 2-family, it's a 25 by 100 lot. What is it? Does it say anything? No. So the address itself is just for a quick reference, like a pinpoint right there, to say this is where the property is located, like for GPS. Simple reference, right? So what they're saying next is it could have a name. It could say that it's, for instance, it's 2 acres, right? But saying that it's 2 acres still does not define which property is ours, because this one could be 2 acres. This one could be 2 acres, all right? So it still doesn't say what it is. A legal description, what a legal description will do is identify the boundaries. So starting at one point, right? Let's say point of beginning, which we're going to go over in a little bit. Starting at one point and then moving to the next point, then moving to the next point, and to the next one, and back to the point of beginning, and thus closing the box that now says this is our property. Okay, so we find the lines that limit or create boundaries, and now we know this is our property. So how can we state this description? Okay, that's what we're going to learn right now. So the general criteria for legal description is that it alone provides sufficient data for the surveyor to locate the property. A legal description identifies a property as unique and distinct from all other properties. As I was showing you, these all could be the same, 2 acres and so on, same 25 by 100, whatever, right? They could be exactly the same. How can the surveyor distinguish one from another? Now, legal description provides accuracy and consistency over time, and systems of legal description, in theory, facilitate the transfers of ownership and prevent boundary disputes and problems with chain of title. You guys remember chain of title, right? Say yes. Chain title, yes. Give me a thumbs up. Even if you don't, just say yes. Okay, good. All right. Now, a legal description is required for public recording, for creating a valid deed of conveyance or lease, completing mortgage documents, or executing and recording other legal documents. One quick question before we start. What does this word mean? Conveyance? What does it mean? Let me know in the chat. Word conveyance. What does it mean? Very good. Transfer. Cool. So very, very important you guys keep remembering this. To convey is to transfer, so a conveyance is a transfer. In addition, a legal description provides the basis for court rulings on encroachments and easements. You should know all these terms by now, right? You studied all week, and since Friday, which I gave you the Friday off to study, right? I know Erica was complaining, studying alone. You know, I missed the class, right? Question from Muslima, is it okay to use the old book? Yeah, look, the book doesn't matter which book you use. I do recommend that you download the newer book and use the newer book, but totally up to you. If you can go back and forth, that's fine. All right. So you should be on, if you're using the old book, you should be on chapter 19. Legal descriptions and deeds, right? Okay, cool. I'll get the names of these chapters in this book as well soon. I just need to do it once or twice. All right, there's 3 accepted methods of legally describing parcels of real estate. We have the meets and bounds, the rectangular survey system, or sometimes called government survey method, the recorded plat method, or lot and block method, okay? So first of all, every time you see plat, I've mentioned already in the previous chapter, it means map, okay? All right, cool. Now, since the meets and bounds description preceded the inception of the rectangular survey system, the older East Coast states generally employ meets and bounds descriptions. So yes, the 13 original states traditionally use the meets and bounds. Now, states in the Midwest and West predominantly use the rectangular survey system, and some states combine the methods. So in New Jersey, for instance, we use a combination between meets and bounds and the recorded plat. We do not use rectangular survey system in New Jersey. So what is meets and bounds? Let's start with that one. What is meets and bounds? So I'm going to make it very easy to remember. Meets are measurements, but let's forget that for a second. I want you to write something else. Wait. I know Stephanie M, you're ready to write. We're going to write something else first, okay? It's where the property lines meet and create boundaries. Okay, so meets, this actually means measurement. Okay, but I want you to focus more on property lines meeting and creating the boundaries. Like I showed you here, right? The property lines, right? They met right here. They meet here. Down here, they meet again. Right here, and then closing the box. So it's where property lines meet and create boundaries. Again, all I'm saying this is because there might be a question in the state exam, and it will say, which of these methods uses the property lines to create the boundaries? The name already says it all. Meets and bounds, right? Meets and creates boundaries. All right, next. It says a meets and bounds description identifies the boundary of a parcel of real estate using reference points, distances, and angles. The description always identifies an enclosed area by starting at an origination point, which is called the point of beginning, or POB, point of beginning. And it returns back to that point of beginning to end the description. So in my scenario, I used the POB to be right here. That was my point of beginning. This is where everything started in my description. And then we move clockwise to the next point, and so on, so forth, back to the point of beginning. Okay? So a meets and bounds description must return to the point of beginning in order to be valid. It cannot be open, right? We need to know what's ours and what's the neighbor's. And the term meets refers to distance and direction. Like I said, measurements of distance and direction. And the term bounds refers to fixed reference points, which are monuments or landmarks, which may be natural or artificial. And natural landmarks include trees, rocks, rivers, and lakes. Artificial landmarks are typically surveyors' stakes, right? So again, it's where the property lines meet and create boundaries. So it could have said, if you're looking at a property, right? That's your property right there. And I'm talking about this. This is not a broccoli, right? Okay, it is a tree. It's not a broccoli. All right. And it could have another one here. Another tree. And this could be rocks and another rock. So, for instance, I have a property in the Poconos that's pretty much something like this. There's 2 rocks in the front, and there's trees in the back. There's more trees. The whole thing is trees. I never touch the property. It's just land. But for me to identify what's mine and what's neighbor's, I need to reach this rock right here, line it up with that tree right there. So I'm looking at it this way. This is my property line. Then I go to this one, and I lined it up with that tree, right here. I'm already outside. Okay, right here. And that's my property line. So I know that this is my property. You got it? Because the monuments, these are called monuments, or landmarks. The monuments or landmarks are these points of reference. There's no other way for me to determine unless I bring a surveyor that puts the stakes, or unless I develop and put the fences or something else that will identify it, okay? So we used natural objects in the past. The problem is it's very difficult to rely on natural objects because obviously a rock, some stone that's there could be moved or removed, right? The tree can move. My trees are very nice trees. They love me. So my trees decided to, over the time, move about 1 foot over in both directions. So my property line just increased a little bit. Cool trees, right? If the neighbor doesn't complain, I think you guys remember this stuff. If the neighbors don't complain of this illegal extension or encroachment, because that's what's happening now, encroaching over the neighbor's property. If they don't complain in New Jersey after 20 years, what can I do? You guys remember this? After 20 years, what can I do? If they don't complain about this increase of 1 foot right there. 1 foot. 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 is mine. No, we got to take action. But that action is called adverse possession. You're entitled to keep on using the property or even claim the whole property if you want. Very good. So adverse possession, squatter's rights, or easement by prescription. Very good. All right. Now, if I go over here, guys, if I go over here and I roll this 1 foot over and nobody complains, I just gain an extra foot to each side. That's 2 feet times 150 the lot has. The lot is 100 by 150. So imagine, I just gained more land. All right. So for them, Muslima, so for them, it will be considered something like erosion. So you're losing property by nature. Nature took property away from you. But it's encroachment because part of your property is illegally extending over the neighbor's property. So that's what encroachment means. So regardless of being by nature or not, some or all of your property is encroaching on somebody else's property. Correct. For me, it's accretion. For them, it will be considered similar to erosion. It's a similar process. Now, for instance, in PA, they have the same laws. Some things are basic across the board. Some things are basic across the board. What might change is the amount of years that you need to wait to claim. I don't know right now out of the top of my head what is PA's adverse possession. Here it's 20. I know Florida is 6. Texas is 5, depending on what you do. So I have no idea of the exact timeline for PA. Okay, Texas I know because I have a bunch of land there and I have to constantly be checking. And Florida I know because it's just cool to know that in 6 years you can take somebody else's property in Florida. All right. So you guys good with this? Yep. Great. Let's see, Muslima's typing a question. Muslim was asking why I have property in Texas. Let me address these two. Why? Because I can. Why wouldn't you? So to address real quick, land is very cheap over there, and it's being developed. So after 20 years, if I don't touch that property, after 20 years, it's going to be worth 200 times what I paid for. It's being developed. It's an area that's upcoming. So, plus, they were promising a wall. So it would be a high-end or luxury property just by having a nice wall. It's a joke, by the way. It's a joke. I don't care about the wall, no wall, doesn't matter. It's a joke. It's just real estate. Miguel, please, don't drive here now. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. All right, so yes, so I got the master plan for that particular area in Texas, yes. So I just leave the land there, I pay the taxes. It's 20 acres plus 10 acres, which is a total of 30, obviously. And we pay $680, $684 something for all of it a year in taxes. In New Jersey, for 30 acres, I would be paying like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 at least, just for land. So, but yeah, it was just addressing Muslima again. It was just I don't know if you guys remember when, some of you probably like, what's eBay? But you guys remember when eBay started selling real estate, right? They opened the real estate portion of it. So that's when I bought this land. I bought it for like $3,500, and I never saw the property, never been there. I got the plans. I got somebody to go there and look at the property for me. Never been there. It's been, this is 2016 years almost. Never been there. So that's what I did back then. And be paying $600 and some a year. I mean, we waste money in other stuff. Probably a month you waste $600 in stuff that you don't need, right? So I'm wasting 600 or 700 a year in something that eventually could be worth a lot of money. I mean, I know it's already worth 10 times what I bought it for. So where is it so I can encroach? Yvette? So yeah, I'm not going to tell you that. And it wouldn't be encroachment. You would have to have the property next door in order to encroach. Encroaching is only for adjacent parcels where you're encroaching or going over somebody else's line. You would go squat or adverse possession. And I always have somebody every 5 years, somebody goes there and checks the property to make sure nobody's squatting on the property. To address the other question, which was a very important question, very good question, is this. Robin asked, can your neighbor ask for a survey and take it back? So if you guys remember adverse possession, we have to be open, visible, and notorious, so people must know what we're doing, right? And the other thing is it's a whole process. It's a whole process. You don't just gain the property right away. You gain the right to claim the property and right to claim title to the property. So if you do those things on time, then your neighbor cannot do anything about it. Meaning, it's been 20 years of me occupying your property. You don't say anything, I'll go to court and I say, hey, Your Honor, I've been maintaining this property for 20 years. I want to have the easement or the right to use the same parcel of land that I've been using. So they grant you the right because of those 20 years. You can also, in the same process right after, request something which is quiet title. A lawsuit to quiet title is you're asking the judge, hey, Your Honor, can you cut that piece from the neighbor's property and give it to mine? So have it resurveyed to now be mine. And once I take that action, no, Robin, there's nothing you can do after that. Nope. After we claim the property, there's nothing you can do after that. If it's been 26 years and I did not claim, then yes, this property is yours. Okay? So if the person that's taking over does not claim the property during the allowed period of time, once the neighbor does, the actual owner of the property does the survey, then yes, they can take it back, kick me out. Yep, absolutely. You guys good? All right, cool. So where were we? Many states use the meets and bounds description to describe properties within the rectangular survey system as well. And a meets and bounds description begins with an identification of the city, county, and state where the property is located. Next, it identifies the point of beginning and describes the distance and the direction from the point of beginning to the first monument or landmark or reference number. Whatever you want to call it, they mean the same. Then to subsequent monuments that define the property's enclosed perimeter. So you want to have that box, right? You need to define that box that is yours, the enclosed perimeter. Okay? We are on page 121, and it says meets and bounds description. There's an image. And this is your property. If you guys notice, there's a couple things you need to look in the map. Okay? One of them is this. You said 119. This was 120. This is 121. Okay, fine. Don't throw the book at the camera. I'm sorry. Okay, 119 for you. I'm on page 121, okay? Yes, guys. So for me to have the books on time, I told you that it's a lot of changes, and I did mention this in day one. First, I have the book on time. The book that you guys have with small changes is the first edition. The book we're using is the second edition. Very small changes. So you might be on page 119. Here's 121, but we're close to it. If there's anything that's different on yours, let me know, and I'll address it right away. So if you guys notice, again, on the map, there's this little thing here. I don't know if I can zoom anymore, but I know that there's some people that have difficulty reading, so I want to make sure. There. All right. Erica, you can see it, right? All right, cool. So what does this mean? What does that mean? Who can tell me? This is a map, means something. North. Very good. So every map is going to have a reference point, which is north. Now you only have to figure out what is south and what's east and what's west. All right? So if north is pointing up, south is pointing down. That's the easiest one. North, south. A lot of people have difficulty with east and west because in the United States, as in most Western countries, we read from left to right. Okay? The problem with reading left to right is that when you say east and west, which that's how we traditionally say it, a lot of people assume that this is east and this is west. And that is incorrect. Okay? So by the way we read, by the way it's natural, north, south, east, and west, this is how we see it. All right? And don't nobody laugh because there's a lot of people that have difficulty with this. This is serious. All right? So we're going to erase this because what we have is north, south, and we. Okay? North, south, and we. That's one way to remember. Whatever works for you guys. Hey, Brian, how are you? All right, on YouTube. So if this doesn't work for you guys, a lot of people have different ways. One of them is never eat soggy waffles. Right here. Never eat sour worms and whatever. Whatever works for you. It's fine by me. I just think it's easier. North, south, and then we. Okay? So why is this important? Why is this so important? Because when we look at roads, let me go here to this intersection so I can use it as a reference point. West is left, so right is east. Yes. And that's what I was gonna point here. You have this right here. So this is north, this is south, and again, we. Why is this important? If we're trying to define where a property is located, it could be on the east line of a particular road, right? So where's the east line over here? This is the east line, right? And then you have a north and a south line. If they say it's the south line of whatever road, then this is the south line. Oh, let me go back to this right here. The east, and this is the south line. So we start closing the box. So it's the east line of whatever this road is. What does it say? Dowell Road. It's the east line of Dowell Road and the south line of Route 199. Okay, this is where the property lines meet and begin. So this would be the point of beginning. That's where we start describing the property. Okay, so again, this is just for a quick reference. The actual point of beginning we're going to use is this one for a description. Okay, in the state exam, you're not going to have something that says POB is right here. No, they're going to give you the description, and you should be able to identify that the point of beginning is right there. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if I can erase this. Okay. So let me erase this for now. Cool. So here's the description. A parcel of land located in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, right, having the following description: commencing or beginning, could say commencing or beginning, means the same, at the intersection of the south line of Route 199 and the middle of Flint Creek. Thence, southwesterly along the center thread of Flint Creek. So before I read the rest, let's go first step. This is Route 199. It says it begins on the south line of Route 199. So we know it's somewhere here, right? Because there's the north line, there's the south line. So it begins somewhere there. Great. Okay, so for now, that's what it is. And then it says the center of Flint Creek. This right here is Flint Creek, right? So why the center? Why not right here? Why the center? Does anybody remember anything about this? Why would we have property all the way to the middle of Flint Creek? Anybody? Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Why the center of Flint Creek? Very good. Ooh, close. It's this one. It's a river or a stream. Littoral rights, Erica, which is good. Littoral rights is for large bodies of water, standing water, like, for instance, a lake or the ocean. These are standing water. We would use littoral, right? Riparian rights is for rivers or something with a stream, like the creek, right? Now, Miguel just touched another subject here, which is non-navigable. Very, very important. Not only is it because it's a river that has a stream, that's why it's called riparian, right? But also has to be non-navigable, meaning the general public cannot go through. There's no commerce that goes through the creek. So you might own to the center of the creek, and whoever's on this side owns to the center of the creek. So that's why in this description, you start right here. It's where the south line of Route 199 and the center of the creek meet. All right? Good so far? That's right, Robin. Each party should have equal rights to the dividing line. Perfect. Absolutely. And here I was wondering about you guys in the beginning. Or were you guys wondering about this in the beginning? I never had a doubt. There you go. All right, cool. So, again, so center. And then it says it goes. So let me translate this thing for you real quick. Every time you see this word, Robin says, I was wondering about me. Well, you're answering, so I'm not too worried. This word, thence, simply means then what you do is, that's all it means. Thence means then what you do is you go southwesterly along the creek, 410 feet more or less, to the willow tree landmark. So every time you see thence, that's all it means. Then we move along, right? The next step is, so if you guys see here, if you guys see right here, we're going to go 410 feet, more or less, along the creek. Till where? Till we find the willow tree. That's the next point. That's where we stop. So we reach the landmark. We reach the monument, okay? Or reference point. And we stop right here. Then it says, thence, let's cut this out again. So then what we do, we're going to go north 65 degrees, west 500 feet, more or less, to the east line of Dowell Road. Okay, before I move forward, I have a question. Miguel is asking, make sure your car is stopped, okay? You scare me. Miguel is asking, is the outside of the tree or the center line of the tree? So the tree is located right here. But because we own property to the center thread, right? we will go to the next point. That's the property line. The tree is right there, right? This is where we stop on the center thread because we own all the way to the center of the creek. Okay, so the willow is as you're driving and you pass by, oh, there's the tree. This is where it stops, and you move on in the next direction. You guys understand? So, but the property line is still here. It's the middle. The tree's right there. That's a reference point. But the property line is still here, the middle of the creek, and then we shift the direction. So in this case, it says, and by the way, you don't need to go and learn degrees and all that stuff, but you go at an angle, 45-degree angle, 500 feet. Okay? As it says, it's 500 feet, I'm sorry, 65 degrees. Northwest. So if you guys see, it's going up, right? It's going up and west. If it was northeast, it would have gone that way. So northwest, this way, until we reach a point. This is our next point. It says until you reach the east line of Dowell Road. Where's the east line? Well, we got two lines here. We have one to the left, which is the west line, and we have one to the right, which is the east line. Okay? So we've reached the east line. That's the next reference point. Then what it says in this description, it says thence, let's cut this out again so you guys remember, then we're going to go north 2 degrees, east 200 feet more or less along the east line of Dowell Road to the south line of Route 199. Okay? So where it goes, we're going to go up until we reach Route 299, as it said, right? And thence, or then, we're going to go 325 feet east along that line back to the point of beginning. So the property that we just described, the property line that we just described was this right here. This is our property. Beyond these lines, it's somebody else's property, but this is what we determined to be ours. Not that hard, right? All right, getting some faces. Sorry, just one quick second. All right. So do you guys have any questions before I move forward? Just want to make sure everybody got this. Did you understand how this works? Good. Thank you. But you should be focused on this class, but thank you. All right. So I appreciate it. That's the way to do it. Help out one another. All right. If there's no other questions, we're going to move forward. And now we have the rectangular survey system. All right, this is the fun one for me. Rectangular survey system. So we are on page 122 for me, so maybe 120 for you. Miss Hernandez, you yawning already? Go get some Red Bull. I mean, healthy stuff. Go get coffee, tea. All right, so rectangular survey system, guys. I need your attention on this one. It does. The previous one was easy. It's a matter of reading and following lines. This one could get a little confusing. So the federal government developed the rectangular survey system or government survey method to simplify and standardize property descriptions as a replacement for the cumbersome and often inaccurate meets and bounds method. The system was further modified to facilitate the transfer of large quantities of government-owned Western lands to private parties. To institute the system, all affected land was surveyed using latitude, which is east and west, or longitude, which is north and south. And you're probably thinking by now, I've heard about these things before, right? When you were probably in middle school, they started telling you about longitude and latitude. And then you go to high school and like, no, I'm going to go into a totally different profession. I don't need to know these things. So now it's back, guys. Yep, it's back. The good news is that we don't need to know much about this. The bad news is you need to know the basics. And it's very simple once you get it. So the object or the goal was to create uniform grids of squares called townships. Okay? Townships. Oop. So these are grids of squares, which would have equal size and be given a numerical reference for identification. So here in the east side, so in New Jersey, for instance, our townships could be 10 miles, it could be 10 square miles, it could be 30 square miles, it could be 100 square miles, it all depends. When we go westward, they start trying to create standards so it's easier to identify what's yours and what's not. So the townships are pretty much a square, okay? So the rectangular survey system works well for describing properties that are square or rectangular in shape, since these can be described as fractions of sections. However, for an irregular shape, such as a triangle, the rectangular system is inadequate as a method of legal description, obviously. The full description has to include meets and bounds or lot and block description. So when we're talking about a grid, you find this as an example in Florida here. All right. This right here is a township. We have several townships. So here's one, right? Township. And each square right here, there's, you see there's the baseline, there's a parallel line, and then there's the meridian lines. So each township has 6 miles, okay, going up, and it has 6 miles side to side. So it's a square that is pretty much 6 by 6. Okay? Each township is a 6 by 6. All right? Now, the meridian, which is the north-south, it's that vertical line, the meridian longitudinal lines on the survey grid are meridians. The principal meridian is the single designated meridian for identifying townships in the principal meridian's geographical jurisdiction. There are 37 principal meridians because there's 36 sections here. So in the 37 principal meridians in the National Survey. Sorry about that. In exhibit for the Florida, you have the Tallahassee principal meridian in this example. The parallel lines, so there's the baseline and there's the parallel line. It's, as it says, it's the east and west, the latitude lines, right? There's the range, there's tiers. I'm not going to go too in depth into this because state exam doesn't address this. If you're in the what do you call it? In a state where these exist, then the state portion will address it, okay? Okay. So as far as township, let's focus on township because there might be a question there. A township is the area enclosed by the intersection of these two consecutive meridians and two consecutive parallels, as the shaded square marked A that I showed you earlier. Since the parallels and meridians are 6 miles apart, a township is a square with 6 miles on each side. That means the area is 36 square miles. A township's area is 36 square miles. They are 6 by 6. Okay? 6 by 6. All right? Now, the rectangular survey system divides a township into 36 squares called sections. So remember, there's 36 square miles. We divide them into 36 squares. That means there's each section is 1 square mile or 640 acres. Okay, so each square in this system is 1 square mile. Elena? Yep. The idea is to make sure that every town is identifiable by the same measurements, and then we cut down even further into it to figure out which parcel is ours. But it's a lot easier to say, well, there's a box right here, this box belongs to you, there's a box right here, this box belongs to you. All right, so squares. As the next exhibit illustrates, the sections in the township are numbered sequentially, starting from number 1 in the northeast corner, proceeding east to west across the top row, continuing from west to east across the next lower row, and so on. Alternatively, ending with section 36 in the southeast corner. So let's look at this. First of all, this is a township, the whole thing. So I'm going to move up. Go back to where we were. So now it's like zooming into this, okay? So we started here, right? This whole area, right? We started here. And then we're going to look at section right here. This township, Township A. So let's zoom in to Township A. And this is what we get. This is Township A. Look, it has 6 mile in the meridian, and it has 6 mile in the base. You got it, the parallels. 6 miles, 6 by 6. And then it's numbered, if you guys see here, will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to 36. There's 36 1 square mile sections. So let's zoom in even further to that one section. Right there. So section number 1 is a 1 by 1 area, right? Or 1 square mile. A section could then be divided into fractions, so it's like further sections within the section, as the next exhibit shows. So one section, you guys already know, one section is 640 acres, or 1 square mile, right? 640 acres or 1 square mile. And then they could be divided into quarters or halves. So if you see right here, there's a half that was cut off. The half is 320 acres. This quarter right here, because it's a quarter of the whole section, it's divided by 4. So 640 acres divided by 4, it's 160 acres. And we could divide it even more. This section was divided into half and into 2 quarters. If our property is located down here, right, then this would be the southwest quarter of the southwest quarter of the southwest quarter, right here. That's what we are identifying here, and that's a 10-acre lot. So this will be the southwest quarter of southwest quarter of the southwest quarter. Why? Because we have a whole section. You have the whole section. Then you're going to divide it into quarters. Then there's another quarter, and this is your final quarter. It's a quarter of the quarter of the quarter. Okay, so smallest one outwards. For example, and I'll do a quick test with you guys, see if you understood this. Okay. For example, here, the southwest quarter of a section is 1/4 section. We got this. Thus, the acreage of the quarter of 640 is 160. Going further, the east half of the southwest quarter is 1/2 of the quarter. That's why it has right here 80 acres. The east quarter of the southwest quarter of the southwest quarter is a 20 acres. So that's this one right here. And what we identified was a southwest of the southwest of the southwest, which is 10 acres. Okay. If they're asking for the size of the area, it says right here a quick method of calculating acreage of a parcel from its legal description is as follows. You multiply. Okay, New Yorker, I just saw it. Okay, thank you. You multiply the denominators of the fractional descriptions together. You divide by 640 by the resulting number. So, applying this method, the foregoing descriptions we get is the southwest quarter of the section, 640 divided by 4 is 160. The east half of the southwest quarter of a section, well, 640 divided by 2 times 4 is 80, and so on. So quarter over quarter, 2 times 4 times 4. I'm going to show you how to do it different way. So this is section 1, guys. And I recommend you write this down on a piece of paper. Okay, make sure you have a piece of paper. If you got the book came with a notebook. Make sure you write it there. But this is section 1. Okay? And section 1, I already told you. Section 1, as an example, equals 640 acres, which equals 1 square mile, as an example. And I'm going to divide this into quarters. Okay. Once I divide into quarters, guys, if you pay attention right here, it's very important. I'm going to put a cross right here on the side as well. And I'm going to do this. North, south, we. So if you realized, once I divide it into quarters, there's a cross as well, which is north, south, and we. So if I said that you guys owned, if I said you guys owned this right here, okay? Actually, let me get some color in here. So if I said you guys own this right here, boom, this will be what? What area do you have? First of all, let's look again. There's the cross right there. So there's the north, south, and then the we, right? So what we have right here, you always start, very, very, very important to understand. You always start with north or south. Because it's located underneath, it's the south. and then we move to the next one, which is west. So you can never, ever, ever say west-south or east-south or west-north or east-north, okay? So it's underneath, it's the south, and then you have west-southwest. So it's the southwest quarter. Now, because it's a quarter, guys, the whole area, we know it's 640 acres. If it's a quarter, we divide by 4. That means that this right here is 160 acres. Okay? Just taking out. We got this, we got this. Southwest quarter, and it's 160 acres. Now I'm going to do the same thing again right here. And now I divide it into more quarters. I'm going to zoom in. What do we have now? Zooming out and zooming back in a little bit. What do we have now? How do we identify this one? Okay, so we got to go back to the fact that there's a cross here. We have north, south, and we again. Ah, Stephanie. There's more. There's more to this. Nope. That's the acreage. Got it. I appreciate you guys. Yep, because it's a quarter, it's 40 acres. But where is it located? Let's see if you guys know. Where is this located? Northeast. Something missing there. Remember, this right here, it's a quarter of a quarter. So the first quarter we identified is that it's the northwest quarter, right? So northwest quarter of, because it's a quarter, it's a small quarter, right? Of the northeast quarter. Isn't this a quarter of this bigger one? So it's a northwest quarter of the northeast quarter. Right? Right, Miguel? They're talking to somebody instead of paying attention. This is the one thing that could help you guys pass the exam. It's one simple thing. Once you get it, it could be the one question. You never know. I try to get you the easiest questions to handle because 80% of the exam is easy. We just get overwhelmed by not understanding a few things. So make sure you guys are paying attention. All right? Yep, Brian, thank you. All right, so let's go even further. Ready? We're going to divide I will do a bunch of them, don't worry. All right, we're going to divide this one. And I want you to identify this one right here. Just want to give you a quick reminder. If you're paying attention or not, it's totally up to you. Because I already have my license. I'm just trying to help you. If you want to, during the 5:30 to 9:30 p.m., if you want to just have your distractions, I just don't want to be responsible for it. So I'm watching my hands right here. Make sure you're focused. Okay? Make sure you're studying. It's very important. I'll give you my best. I'll give you my all. But if you guys don't do the follow-up portion, it's tough. All right? So what's happening over there? This is what we're trying to identify. Let me know. Southeast 3/4. By the way, it's okay to be wrong. Don't worry about it. Yep, Brian got it right. E. Stefani says, let me think. I'm letting you think. That's why I'm pausing. You see that? Pause for a second. Let you think. Yep, corrente. Very good. All right, cool. So let's figure this out. Ready? Let me zoom in again. That's the best way to do it. Clueless is a great answer as well. No problem. We'll get there. So here's what we got, guys. Always north, south, we. Where is that located? Southeast. Okay? So this, let's start here. It's the southeast quarter of, and let's zoom out a little bit. I'm going to start filling in the blanks. Maybe this will help. Where is that located? Let's look at it again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, 4 quarters. It's located on the 4th quarter. Where's the 4th quarter located? Very important. North, south, we. Where's that located? South, east again. So what we're saying is that this is the south right here at the bottom. It's the, right here. It's the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter. But this is not the whole section. This is a portion of the section as well. Let me zoom out. I'll make it cleaner after, so don't worry about it so much. Right now it's just getting the information. Now we're gonna identify this section. Okay, where's all this located? Again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything's on number 4 right here. I know it's getting confusing, a lot of lettering here, numbers and all that. I'll make a clean one right after. But where is this located? Again, in the southeast quarter. So, zooming in. This right here is the southeast quarter, right? So hold on. Start always with the smallest one, yes. This is the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter of section 1. You guys got it? Always start with the smallest one first. So I'm going to do a quick one for you guys to try. Right here. Make sure you are drawing this. If you are driving, don't do it. I want you to get an accident trying to explain to the cops after. I was looking at the squares, right? And I didn't know if I was going north, if I was going south. All right? So, here's the section you guys are going to identify. And now, I'm going to put it right here. And then right here. And I want you guys to tell me, what is this section right here in yellow? Do not answer. Do not answer yet. Okay, I want you to put it on a piece of paper, figure it out, okay? And then I'll ask for the answers. But for right now, on a piece of paper, I want you guys to identify this. One simple thing you should have always right next to it is this: north, south, we. And remember that every single cross here represents north, south, and we. Miguel, they should be up. Well, from last week, they should be up by today, tonight, and today's should be up tomorrow, hopefully. Roll up. This is it. Don't give me attitude, Erica. This is it. Give it a try. Do not put the answer yet, only when I ask. If it's the same scenario, no. Well, it's a section in the township. It's not the same scenario. Remember, in the state exam, Miguel, pay attention to the road. In the no, Muslima, I didn't ask for it. No, no, I didn't ask for answers yet. Did I say, can you all give me your answer? No, I didn't. But remember, in the state exam, they're going to give you a piece of paper. So you're going to have a pencil, piece of paper, and you can write down like these things. You can draw, you can do your math, you can make a reference to whatever the question might be. So write it down. All right, looks like almost everybody got it. Go ahead. Give me the answers. Elena went from quarter to corners. Miguel just are you stuttering, Miguel? Let me go here real quick. The shy typer, remember? What's going on? Give me an answer. Chris can't see it. It's too small. Can't see it. And it's reversed. Can't see it. But that was good, though. All right, all right. Got some answers on YouTube. Some answers on Zoom. All right. Robin, you forgot one step. Close. Just forgot one step. All right. So let's figure out what we got. Definitely forgot one step. Robin says, not surprising. Listen, it's normal. Some people just set of... Huh? At least you gave me two answers. Ingrid just went, set. Figure out the rest. It's a quarter of something. Set. Done. All right? All right, so let's figure out, guys. Zooming in. Always start with the smallest one first. Zooming in, we have, again, 1/4, 2, 3, 4. Right? And everything is happening right here in this quarter. Where's this located? It's the southeast. It's underneath, right? And it's to the right. So it's the southeast. It's so weird because for me, everything is mirrored. This is my left, right? But anyway, for you is the right. So this is the southeast quarter right here. Southeast quarter. All right. Next thing, we got to look at the bigger number. Right there. So let's look at it, zoom out. And now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where's all this located? Again, south, east, right? We have north, it's above this line. South is below the line. And then we have to the right is the east, to the left will be the west. All right, and the final one. I was always a pro at keeping things in between the lines, right? So my kids love me when I help them out. All right, let's zoom out. We got the cross again. Where's that located? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So it's located now on the northwest quarter. So the answer for this one would have been southeast quarter of the southeast quarter of the northwest quarter. All right, if this is the answer you got, you can do your little happy dance. There you go. Some of you got it. If you did not get it, we're going to do one more, and it's totally fine. Okay? Stefani got it now, which is cool. Verona just went north everything because it's up there. All right, got it. All right, you're having too much fun. Stefani goes like, one more, one more. All right. Let's do one more. Do not give me the answers until I ask for it. Give it a try. Don't forget to put the north, south, east, and west somewhere. One of our agents just closed a real estate deal right now. Just shared the picture with us for the family. I think it's his 8th closing of the year. He has 3 more pending. Yep. At this rate, he's going to end the year with one a month on average. Not bad. All right. Estefani gave me the thumbs up, so she got the answer. Is that it, or about the closing? You got the answer? All right. Do not submit the answer yet. Let's give a chance for everybody to get it. Elena, do it on your own. Jeffrey, do not help, or vice versa. Okay. I see. Why are you looking at her camera when you got your camera? You're getting me confused. I see half a head on one, and then I see you both sitting on another. Gotcha. That's what it is. All right, you guys ready? Ready? There's 3 steps. I've been including 3 steps in all of them. Sometimes in the state exam will be 2, sometimes it'll be 3. Sometimes you might not even have this question. But the idea behind it is to show you how sometimes things could be that simple once it clicks. Okay? Ready? Write the answers down. Let's go. Let me know what you got. All right. There's some people missing. All right, you're gonna make it tough on me, Chris. Got it. All right, not bad. You know, hey Chris, do you know that's what my kids are doing? They have like a whiteboard, and the teacher asks questions, and they write on the whiteboard, and then show it in the camera. Is that what you're doing? Your kids too? Okay. So Stephanie changed the answers. Good. Sometimes good, sometimes bad to change answers. Letting you know right now. Stephanie M doesn't want to put quarters. It's southwest of the northwest of northeast, and deal with it. No quarters. All right, cool. Let's figure out, and Miguel did the same. Okay, no problem. Let's figure out what we got. So, again, this was a 3. She gives me to me at the end. Here's your quarter. Like literally, look at this. Here's your quarter. Take it right there. I didn't want to include in the rest. Here you go. All right. So, to answer this, guys, remember always, north, south, we. That's why I asked you guys to write it down. Okay? So the first quarter is the southwest quarter. That's where we start. Southwest quarter. Let me write this down here. Southwest quarter. Okay? Next thing we got, we're going to branch out a little bit. And we have this. Right here. Where's this one located? Okay. We got to go to this cross right here. North, south, we. Where is it located? It's above the line and it's to the left. Therefore, northwest. Okay? This is of the northwest quarter. And this is part of a bigger quarter right here. So where is all that located? Again, it's above the line and it's to the right. So it's the north east quarter. All right. So this is located on the right here. This is located on the southwest quarter of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter, the whole thing. Some of you got it right. It's just one step that you had wrong, either the north or the south. But I think majority of you had west, west, and east pretty much correct. It was just the north or the south that you still have difficulty with. So remember again, anything above the line is north. Anything below the line is south. Okay? And then you have the middle line, anything to the left. So right here, to the left is west, to the right is east. You guys good? Give me a thumbs up if you got it this time. All right, cool. Robin, did you get it now? No? All right, Robin, we're going to do one more, okay? David, did you get it? All right, cool. All right, so Robin, you're going to answer for me, okay? And whoever else has difficulty, let me know. Just answer this question. It's going to be very simple to start. The first one is, identify this one right here. What is this? Let me know in the chat. What is this? Robin? Okay. Okay, so this one's easy. What I'm going to do next is cut this into more quarters. That was bad. And I want you to tell me, what is this right here? Don't forget to write quarters, very important. Because in the state exam, they might have halves as well. So you want to make sure you get ready for quarters, halves, and all that. And the only reason, by the way, guys, is because most likely the question is going to be as far as measurement. And that they might ask you which one of these 2 lots or 3 lots or 4 lots measures more in area. So you're going to have to figure it out. All right. All right, so we're good. All right, let's kick it up a notch. One more. Right there. Kevin just asked me a question. Random, yeah, for this chapter it is. If something is bolted to the ground, does it become real estate or still a trade fixture? Well, so while you guys answer this, I'm going to address Kevin. Oh, thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. So you have to understand one thing. You asked if it was a trade fixture, if it was real estate. The question is it a business? Okay? Because for instance, in a salon, there's stuff that's bolted to the ground, like the sinks, for instance, they're attached to the ground, or even the chairs sometimes. But because you said trade fixture, if it's trade, it's tools of the trade, therefore business. If it's business, usually the landlord already expects the tenant to remove it later. All right? So it all depends on the relationship of the parties. In this case, there's a landlord and a commercial tenant or a business. Supermarket. So anything you installed for the business is a trade fixture. Traditionally, it is expected to be removed before the lease ends. If it's after the lease ends, then it belongs to the landlord. Okay? If it's a supermarket, then it's a business. So trade fixture. It should be okay to remove unless the lease agreement says otherwise. So then it comes down to the terms of the lease. You're welcome, Kevin. All right, guys, back to this. Fabiola, what happened? You don't know? Don't cry. All right, Robin, you got it. Perfect. Elena. Oh no, hold on. No. I'm the one that's seeing something wrong. No, hold on, Robin. Almost. I'm sorry, almost. All right, let's go back here. All right, so Kevin says state exam tomorrow, currently reviewing all the content. Awesome, Kevin. Looking forward to your success. Let me know tomorrow what the outcome was, okay? Just join the class as you did today and let us know. Keep us up to date. All right, so right here, we have northwest. So that's where it starts. That's the northwest. Everything was going great. Still here. The first one is northwest. It was close. You did great. All right. Remember, again, if it's above the line, everything above the line is north. If it's on the left of the line, right, is west. So this is northwest. Okay? And then it's this one. So we have the northwest quarter, and then there's the bottom right here. And again, anything to the right is east. Anything below is south. So what we have here is a southeast. Okay? And as the bigger one, again, everything is happening down here. So it's south, right? And then because it's on the left, it's west. So that's how you guys need to look at. There's the south line, the south line, the north line. There's the one side to the other, so east and the west. So this right here would have been to end southwest quarter. The key, yep, Francielli, the key is always to start with the smallest one. So, Robin, the only thing you had wrong was that right there. I'm looking at your answer. Great. As far as Fabiola, right there. So it was just one thing that there was a mistake, and it happens. Okay, so you guys did great overall. You did great. It was just again, one person was on the west or east right here in the north. The other one was the west or east on the south. But in the state exam, they might have answers that are, for instance, northwest quarter of the southwest quarter of the southwest quarter. So you might have answer A and answer C, and they are very similar. What is the difference between them? Right here. But the way our brain works is, I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, is that if you find something that's similar or something that your brain recognizes as, I've seen this before, right? You tend to click the answer because your brain thinks that's the one. All right, and there's a lot of my students and students all over that what you guys do is called speed reading, right, and answering. So I'm going to show you later when we do reviews. I'm going to show you later how to read the questions for the state exam in order to guarantee your success. Okay, so right here, what was the difference? Just one letter. It could change everything. One letter changes everything. All right. You guys good? All right, so we're gonna move forward. I know you guys got it. It was just that one letter, so you guys got it now. You know what to look for. All right, that was perfect. I'm gonna go here. And we have the recorded plat method. The recorded plat method. Now, the plat or map, right, of the subdivision also is called the lot and block system. We have that a lot here in New Jersey, where we define everything based on blocks and lots. Now, here you go. Subdivision Plot Map. This could be, as it says here, Grand Oak Subdivision's Block 8. And if we're trying to identify our property, let's say it's this one, our property, the block and lot description, or plat math, the subdivision plat or map, right, says that our property, right, is on block 8, lot 11, or vice versa, depending on where you are. But that's our lot right there in the Grand Oaks subdivision. All right, so this is the simplest one. We just identified our property. It still does not say, if you guys notice, all three of them don't say if it's a multifamily, if it's a single family, if it's a high rise. They don't say anything like that. All descriptions identify is the land where the building is then located. Is just the land, because that's what you own, the land. Then you have the rights to build or knock it down if you want, but the land is what you buy. Okay, if it's improved land, there's a building, it's worth more. If it's unimproved land, just the land, it's worth less. But that's what you are buying. Okay. So it says here, for instance, lot 7 of block 8 of the Grand Oaks subdivision in the southeast quarter of section 35, Township T28S, Route 19E of the Tallahassee Principal Meridian in Pinellas County, Florida. Here in Jersey, it's way easier. Half of this stuff would be gone, right? But again, if it's based on lots and blocks, that's what we would use. Describing elevation. So, like I said, guys, I'm sorry. Franciel is asking a question. How can a deed have a two-family house as a one-family house? Well, the deed does not describe what's on it. That's not a description. The land is. So if there's a reference in your deed somewhere that says it's single family, if there's a reference there and your property is a two-family, then the title, remember, title or the deed transfer refers to the who owns what, and that what is a parcel of land. If you are, okay, the survey, okay, that's different. So if you have a single family listed in the survey, but you have a two family, that's where you live in, then you have to go to City Hall and figure out what's on their record, both the tax record, the water record, and the building department's records. So figure out what they have there. Sometimes it happens during developments, like a developing area. It happens that they don't change everything accordingly. So it's not about doing a survey, it's about going to the town and figuring out what they have there on record. Because when you sell the property, you're selling the deed. So through the deed does not describe the land. What's with the town is what's important. Okay? And at this point, a new survey would be requested. Welcome. Now I understand your headache. You have a single family, whether you live in a two, you know, records show it's a three, you know. All right, so describing elevation. If you guys remember, until now, like I said, we're describing land. We haven't said that it's a single family, two family, high rise, nothing. So what happens when you own, this is the building. Okay, and you own the 10th floor. Your unit is located on the 10th floor. The reason why I'm asking this is because we said that the deed only describes the land where this is located, right? So deed describes the land, does not describe the building. So if your unit that you own is on the 10th floor, how do we describe it in the deed? Anybody? Let me know. How do we describe it in the deed? We're talking about condos. How do we say, hey, my unit is on this ground, but I'm on the 10th floor? How do we figure that out? Anybody? Nobody? No idea? Elevation. Describing elevation. Yes, Muslima just didn't want to say that you already had it, but yes. Erica says pulling hair out. Okay. Sea level. We're going to get to the sea level in a second. But it's describing elevation. So, you've been getting a lot of them right. Come on, Robin. Please. You had like one or two like a little iffy, but you still got almost all of it right. All right, so to describe property located above or below the Earth's surface, such as air rights to a condominium, a surveyor must know the property's elevation. Standard elevation reference points are called datums, and they have been established throughout the country. The original datum was defined by the U.S. Geological Survey as the mean sea level at the New York Harbor. This is the original datum. The mean sea level. What is the mean sea level? Is where the tides are no longer effect. So it's that water. Stephanie, are you okay? Oh, you're eating something that's hot. Great. All right, cool. Anyway, with 3 Stephanies in the class, it's tough. So, all right. So right here, the mean sea level is where you can no longer put any more water. So right here, let's call this the tide currents, for instance. There's low tide, there's high tide, but if you go 1 mile in, let's say, into the water, there's a place. Once we get there, there's a place where no more water doesn't go up, doesn't go down. That's it. That's the water line. Okay. When we get close to the shore, it goes up, it goes down according to the times and the flows and the moon and all that good stuff. Anyway, so the point is that's a flat line. When we look at the ocean, it's that flat line, and elevations are measured based on that. So if you want to know, like for instance, when you're in an airplane and they say 20,000 feet, right? We're at 20,000 feet. We're at 20,000 feet above the datum, 20,000 feet above the water. Even if you're in the middle of Colorado, it's 20,000 feet above the water line that's been defined at the mean sea level in New York. Okay? So this one way to remember this is that datums are reference points, right? Just like if you guys look at the timelines, if you know in the time zones, I'm sorry, in Europe they're in a different time zone. So in London we have GMT, Greenwich Meridian time, and that's time 0, right? Because they use that as a reference point. And then if you go to backwards towards New York, we're minus 5 or 4 hours depending on the summertime or not, but it's minus 5. And then if you move forward towards India, let's say, it's plus 5 or 6 hours. So there's one point that was defined as the point 0, right? And then they moved from there. In this case, datum was the point 0 of datum was New York. And then they created benchmarks along the way. So if you're in the middle of Houston, right? How can we say, hey, my property is located 100 feet above New York? Right? It's tough, right? It's very tough. So they create local datums as well. But a datum for property purposes describes the height and depth of the property. So hold on. So the area will describe the distance 100 feet above the sea level or so on. There's one thing missing here. Okay, so it doesn't say here, but this is what it will do to describe datum. Your property will be starting at 100 feet above datum. So this is the floor is 100 feet as an example. And then it ends at 110 feet. This is the ceiling. And we just described your property as being this air unit, this box of air, which starts 100 feet above and ends 110 feet. So this is how we measure elevations. Okay? And let's say that for this example, this floor is at the same height as the sea level. So this is at the same height as datum. Okay. So your unit starts at 100 feet and ends 110 feet. All right, guys? It's not that hard, right? Okay. So as I was saying, we have something called benchmarks, which is along the way. They put other reference points to say, hey, we're in Houston. We have our local datum. Our local datum references the New York datum, but we know where we are. So for instance, right here, we are in the Eastern Standard Time. So all of us are in the same time zone. Therefore, it should be 7:36 p.m. for all of us, right? But if somebody's in a different time zone, right, in reference to us, they are either +1 or -1 depending on where they are. But for people there, it's the same thing. So a local benchmark says I'm in Houston, and the Houston benchmark, let's say, it's 20 feet above New York. Over there, they're not going to tell everybody, hey, your house is 100 feet above the Houston datum, which is 20 feet above New York. No, they don't need to say that. They just create the local benchmarks and reference those that way. Okay. All right, guys. So it's break time. I see some of you are breaking. So it's break time before we get into contracts. Guys, it's 7:37 right now. 7:45, we'll get back. So you got 8 minutes. Run. See you in a bit.